What is going on, Dragon Champions fam? It is Bones88 here, and I have an awesome video for you guys today. We're going to do the top 10 best characters in the whole entire game as of November 2020. And this was all done just by my opinion. You guys may disagree, and by all means, let me know in the bottom. If you guys think someone else should be in a different place, or if I forgot a character, or if I have someone too high up, let me know. I love discussing it, and I love everyone's opinion. I really do. With all that being said, let's get right into it because we got a lot to cover. Alright, first up, number 10 is Count Delman. I underestimated this guy a lot for a long time. But as time has gone on, and I've talked to a lot of my friends, guild members, just a lot of people in the community, I did not realize how important this guy was. This man takes a Delman elf team that is already amazing as it is by herself and amplifies it by 10. This guy is just that good. He makes that Delman team even stronger, hit for more damage, gets the ball rolling on that team, and before you know what happened, you're dead within almost a seconds. Like, you're just like, what the hell just happened to me? And a lot of that comes from him being added to a Delman team. He has synergy with Delman and Wonder Lula. So if you have them three on a team together, watch out. Add Phalia. You don't even need that many elves, and already a Delman team is crazy. So just so much stuff happening with him. Let's read his passive real quick so you kind of see what he's doing. He gains 500 penetration, that means he's taking more health away from you. He's hitting you harder. If Delman isn't an ally, Count Delman and Delman increase their physical damage by 15%. So Delman's hitting even harder. When she has that special AoE and she can just keep hitting you with that, you are toast. You're done. If Wonder Lula is an ally, she and Count Delman will increase their crit chance by 15%. Crit chance is very important when it comes to the Delman team, and he's adding even more if he and Wonder Lula are together. So just scary stuff, and he is meta now. If you put him with a Delman, and a couple others, Garrett, Eric Shieldbreaker, he is meta. Like, I just found this out. He and Delman are now meta now that Buff and other demons have been nerfed to death. They have now overcome whatever it was, and they are now meta. So that was crazy news to me. That's another thing. At 5-star, he is viable. If you have this man at 5-star or up, even 4-star or up, take him to gear 11. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And put him in with your Delman, and you are going to notice a crazy difference. He was a Battle Pass character. He's considered premium. And it seems like the last 3 or 4 premium characters that were Battle Pass characters are viable at 5-star. So one more thing I want to say about him before we move on is this ability, Mark of Death. See, what this does here is deals 380% of physical damage to an enemy, inflicts Mark of Death for 3 turns. Now, Mark of Death allows attacking an enemy as if they are affected by taunt. So what they're saying there is, if there's not someone already taunting, you can pick whoever you want, use this move on them, and now they're considered taunting. The actual buff won't come up there, but the debuff Mark of Death is making them taunt, in other words. So everything is going in at that one person that you mark. Very awesome mechanic, not used by anyone else, only special to him, and makes this guy even better. Especially when you have those elves just attacking that one person, going in on him. Crazy. This guy is the shiz. He is worth everything. Take him to gear 11. Do whatever you got to do, even if he is at 4 stars or higher. Take him to gear 11. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Alright, so number 9. We have one of the best, if not the best, healer in the game, my girl, Renara. She is part of the Pride, and like I said, she's a healer, and she is just a badass. The first thing that makes her awesome is her revive ability, right here. She will resurrect a random ally with 50% of their health and applies regeneration on top of that for 2 turns. That's any ally. She's not tied to just only reviving a certain kind of person or people. It is everyone. So right there, that makes her totally plug and play. She's been in the meta here and there. You'll see teams high up in your arena shard that has her. If you don't have a 5th option that's very good, just throw her in. She's not always the best, but she can revive any ally. So that right there makes her amazing. Her revive ability is unlike anyone else's in the game. I can't think of too many other people who can revive. I think there might be a couple others, but they're non-existent when it compares to Renara. So not only does she revive people, she has this amazing, amazing healing ability. And it's one of the strongest healing abilities there are in the game. When she heals, she throws a crap load of health on you. And it says here she heals all allies by 400% of Renara's magic damage. So the higher her magic damage is, the more she'll heal. But it doesn't even matter. You don't have to worry about that when it comes to runes. She will put a lot of health on you. No matter what team she's with, she will hook you up. And on top of that, she puts 3 regenerations on top of that. That is nuts. That's a crazy, crazy, crazy healing ability. And that right there, even if she didn't have a revive, she would still be awesome because of that one healing ability right there. Her basics, but those 2 right there, the revive and the health, are amazing. And we need more healers like her. Okay, so on top of that, let's check out her passive, which is really good too. So at the end of every turn, Renara restores 15% of maximum health and 15% of maximum shield to any ally who has 2 or more stacks of regeneration. So the more stacks you're putting on people, every turn, those people with stacks are getting more health. And then, if you got them all the way healed up, they're getting cheat death for 2 turns. That is crazy. That is good. Her passive alone is awesome. And once again, it's not tied to just pride, which you usually see her with. It's everyone. She is so plug and play. One of the best characters in the game just for her healing abilities alone. Nothing to do with damage output or anything. Just her healing and reviving abilities make her one of the best characters in the game and number 9 on my list. Number 8. My man, the cool, the calm, the collected General Mordoch. The first thing that you need to say about this man is goblins are not... You need him for a good goblin team. He's a legendary character, but he's the main staple in a goblin team. He's the leader. There's a couple other leaders, but they're trash. This is the man you need if you want a goblin team. I suggest you unlocking him before you go building a goblin team. You need to have this guy pimped out pretty well before you even worry about farming any more goblins or anything like that. Because without this man, they're nothing. They're not trash, but they're not very good. With that being said, let's look at his leadership and see why he makes them so good. So, upon landing a critical hit, all allied goblins recover 20% of their turn meter and have a 50% chance to call a random goblin to assist. So first of all, the thing about goblins is they rely a lot on critical hits. The more you critically hit someone, the more they're putting out damage, assisting, and many other things. The goblins are one of the funnest teams to play with and one of the coolest, craziest kits, more complicated kits in the game as far as a whole. So you're landing critical hits, and as you do, all of the goblins with you are recovering 20% of their turn meter. That's huge. That is huge. And on top of that, you get a 50% chance to call more of them to assist. And if you know anything about goblins, there's other goblins in their kit that has goblins assisting. So you're just assisting constantly. But it's really important for that all to work to have his leadership and have this character in the team. So that is the main thing about General Mordoch, is he just makes goblins a great team, and goblins are one of the best teams in the game, so you need this man. So that's all I'm going to say about General Mordoch. Great character. You need him to be you need him for the goblins to be good. That's the biggest reason that he is number 8 on my list. Okay, number 7. Zara. Zara is one of the many leaders that you can have with the Orc faction. But let me tell you right now, Orcs are probably one of the crappiest teams in the game until you have Zara at lead. She is a beast. She puts out crazy damage, has a crazy AoE, has a great leadership, and she is one of the biggest game changers when it comes to Battlegrounds. If you max her out, especially her leadership, she will turn that almost non-existent Orc team that's not doing much for you in Battlegrounds and turn it into an actual helpful team that you will use a lot, all the time. She's a huge counter to Pride, which Pride isn't the hardest team to take on, but they are so tanky that you'll sit there for 30 minutes of Battleground and finally to beat them. You'll sit there forever trying to beat them in just one match. You'll spend a lot of time trying to get around Pride if you don't want to use it like an awesome team. If you want to save your awesome teams, you need Zara. You need her with the Orcs to take on the Pride so that you're not using up another good team. But her leadership isn't the only reason why I like her. I also enjoy her because of her moves. So this move here attacks a single person 3 times. Ability blocks, bleeding, armor decreases. Just hitting a person 3 times is awesome. And the attack hits really, really, really hard, especially if you land it all 3 times. And if the person has a shield, there's all kinds of stuff being applied, and it's just a awesome, awesome move. Now this other move is a giant AoE, and it can put out some damage, let me tell you. So there's not much more to say about her. Huge game changer in Battlegrounds. I suggest you get her as soon as you can and give everything you got into her. I am currently trying to get her to gear 11 as we speak. Number 6, the OG Dr. Frank. This, I cannot say enough about this guy. He and General Mordoch paired together is all you need for a great Goblins team. The other 3, you can almost put whoever you want, and it's still going to be a great team. Now, of course, there's ones you want more than other ones, but as long as you have General Mordoch lead and Dr. Frank in your team, you can't go wrong, really. Especially with the reworks that just happened recently. This man heals, protects, shocks, helps everyone assist. He is nuts. And I mean, if there's a certain team that you need a 5th person on and your goblins are good or whatever, I don't advise it, but you could plug and play this guy. He puts out enough damage, puts out shocks, gives any allies protection and health, and not just goblins. Like, he has some plug and play viability, but you really want to keep him over on your goblin team. And him being in the goblin team increases the already great team overall in the game to even higher heights. And I'm telling you now, with Arno coming out, not meta, but one team below meta whenever you throw Arno in with General Mordoch and Dr. Frank. Those 3, that trio is crazy, especially on defense. He's putting days out along with Shock. So overall, this man is great. Get him to gear 11 as soon as you can. Can't say enough about this guy. He is awesome. He looks cool, and he helps that Goblin team be great. One of my favorite characters in the game, and I can't say enough about him, and that's why he's number 6 on my list. Alright, number 5. This is the controversial one. At number 5, I have Buff. If you would have asked me a month or so ago, he would be in my top 3. But the reason why that is because the devs have nerfed this man to death. I'm not going to go over all the nerfs that they have, but they've taken away speed on his leadership, some other things, and it just made him... He's still a great character. That's why he's number 5 on the list, but he is just not as great as he used to be. He's been nerfed to death. So the big reasons why I think he's great. First of all, he takes a great demon team, like for Battlegrounds and stuff, and just makes them greater. Even though they've nerfed his leadership, this is what's going on. It's still a great leadership. It increases the speed of all allied demons by 15 and their tenacity by 30. A 33% chance to decrease the target's turn meter by 16% when attacking. So when he attacks, he has a chance to decrease target meter. That's huge. He's also making demons tougher and faster. You can't complain about that. He makes the demon, he's the demon leader you want. Also, his passive increases his dodge chance, so it's even harder to hit him because he has more chance of dodging. This move is huge. I love this move. And mainly when I have really good characters on my team, let's say Mordoch or Delman, this move swaps turn meter 100% to the target you choose. So if I want to keep getting my abilities going for Mordoch to get more minions to do his big attack, if I want to get all that going a lot, I just keep using this move and putting it towards him. But the same goes for like Delman or somebody, or just anyone that you want to keep doing more and more turns that might be slower or anything like that. You're putting out a lot more. And it's kind of like Thrawn's ability in Galaxy of Heroes, where he swaps turn meter with people. But not only does it swap turn meter, but it's also healing them by 25% of their total health. That's huge too. Someone's about to die, you can throw turn meter onto them and heal them up to keep them around for a little bit longer. And this is the big one. This has been nerfed a lot. I don't remember what it used to be and all that. They've taken some things away. Okay, so what it's doing here is it's applying 8 buffs to your team and 8 debuffs to the random enemies. And, it's a long list of stuff, but, you're getting haste, armor increase, crit damage increase, invisibility, counterattack, cheat death, debuff immunity, all kinds of stuff going on for your own team. And then almost similar ones, but debuffs, damage decrease, slow, daze, healing block, buff immunity, all huge buffs. Blindness, ability block, all that stuff is being applied to the other team. But the one thing that sucks about this move is it's completely RNG based. You don't know where those debuffs are going. You don't know who they're going to go on to. And it's all just kind of random and very RNG based. So that's kind of the turn off of that move. But besides that, it's really cool. No one else has a move like that. And it's just really neat being able to do it in any case. So even though there's a lot to invest in to get this guy, he's not the best character anymore. Before, he was the guy to have. That's the guy that everyone wanted. They were jealous if you had him. I paid $150 just to get him so that I could complete the event. And it took me 7 days, hours of my time, mental anguish, a lot to get this guy. And unfortunately, they nerfed him almost too much. I understand why. There's a lot of politics to it, and they want to even out the game a little bit more. They didn't want him to dominate the arena, blah, blah, blah. But still, overall, great character. I love Buff. I enjoy having him. I don't regret the $150 I spent on him. And he's helped me out a lot in everything. Everything. Arena, tournaments, and everything. But that's all I got to say about him. Great character, and that's why he's number 5 on my list. Alright, number 4. The beautiful demon, Kiri. Right off the bat, I just want to say, hands down, in my opinion, the best tank. All kinds of health. All kinds of, tenacity. It is so hard taking down a Kiri. So hard, in fact, that I have to, when I go in and take on a Kiri, I got to make sure I have someone who can dispel a lot so I can get around her and take out the rest of the team and take her out last. If your only hope is to take her out first, good luck. Because she taunts a lot. You're going to constantly be sitting there trying to take her out. She's always gaining health with her AoE, gaining shield. Just, her kit is crazy where she keeps on getting her own health, getting her own shield. And if you don't go around her some way and take out the rest of the team before you take her out, you're 99% of the time going to lose. She is just an insane tank. By far the best tank in the game, one of the best characters in the game, totally viable at 5-star. As you can see now, I'm only at 6-star with her, gear 11, and I'll show you right now in my arena, I am top 20, maybe top 10 with her. Okay, if you'll see here, I am ranked 10 in my arena shard, so pretty high up there, and here I have her right here. As you saw, she's 6-star, and I am number 10 in my arena. She is very viable. And don't get me wrong, I had her at 5 for the longest. And I was still top 20 or so. And so she is a beast, you guys. A beast, a beast, a beast. If you get her unlocked, no matter where you're at in the game, even if she's 3-star and you're a beginner, get her all the way to gear 11 and she will be so useful in your arena and everywhere else she is able to be used. That's about all about her, but she is nuts. A nuts tank. I can't describe how great she is. And I don't see her going anywhere for a long time. I suggest gearing her up all the way to 11, maxing out her abilities, even at very few stars. One of the few characters who's pretty viable no matter how many stars you have on her. Can't talk about enough about her, and that's why she is number 4 on my list. So number 3. He has not been around for very long, and he's already making a huge splash in the meta, in arena, and a lot of other places, and that is my man, Garrett. There's lots of reasons why Garrett is so good. So let's just go over his kit. Mainly his kit. It's just really cool, very unique, and he's just really fun to play with. So his passive, Garrett draws a random bolt from his quiver at the end of his turn. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. So long story short, every turn he has an RNG-based arrow that he pulls out. Some of them could be poison, some of them could be burning arrows, some of them could be bleeding arrows. Some of them inflict daze, some of them inflict slow. There's even an anti-magic one that removes all buffs from either the target, or if you use an AoE, then it removes them from all the targets. He has synergy with Eric's Shieldbreaker that increases both their speed if Eric's Shieldbreaker is in the team, and also their health. That passive alone is just really cool. Once again, it's an RNG-based thing, but it's really fun to play with. Sometimes it screws you over, and sometimes it helps you out a lot. So it's kind of like the buff thing where you don't know where it's going to go. This move here is nuts. Are you tired of going against people in arena and they're always getting under invisibility and you have no way to get around it? This is the move you need. You need this guy. The move Flare Bolt. It removes invisibility from all enemies, and it inflicts blindness on all enemies for a turn. And then it gives him and all allies accuracy increase, and if Eric is on the field, they're getting crit damage and crit chance increases. But the main thing to take from that is he clears invisibility on that. And I don't know if it can be resisted, but I have yet to see it be resisted. And it puts blind on them on top of that. That's crazy. Blind is a great debuff, an awesome debuff, one of the best debuffs in the game, and you're removing invisibility. So that takes away from the Kyra thing that she puts invisibility on everyone, Wonder Lula where she puts invisibility on people, and that just gets around them, takes that away, and then you can keep doing what you're doing. So this move is really cool too. It's an AoE, and you kind of have to pay attention to what arrows you have for it to make the biggest difference. But what it does is it puts 300% physical damage to all enemies, and it applies the effect of the bolt use. So that's what I'm saying. You need to pay attention, because if you start out and he has poison, it's not going to do much good to use the AoE yet. So what you want to do is kind of pay attention to what he has and save the AoE for when he has daze or slow, or maybe an anti-magic arrow for if there's a bunch of buffs out there or whatever. He's not a very good auto character for those RNG reasons. So he's better if you use him like manually, playing on your own manually. Can't talk enough about this guy. Love playing with him. One of the funnest characters to play in the game. And he is also viable at 5 stars. If you have him at 5 stars, start gearing him up. Start, pimping out his abilities and get him up as fast as you can, because he is so helpful in battlegrounds. You can, he's a human, so you don't see him very often with a human team, but you throw him on with a Soleus team, he makes that team great too. Get him pimped out as fast as you can and get this guy going on your roster. You will not be sad that you did. All right, we're getting down to the very last of them. Number 2, Thelaine. Now, I'm telling you now, all you guys are going to be like, what? She's not number 1? She should be number 1. Totally agree. But in my opinion, she's number 2. Only because I've just recently got her geared up. She's only 6 star, and I've started using her. She is my leader in my arena team where I'm number 10. Like, technically, she's the best character in the game. By far. Her, under her own leadership alone, is nuts. Let's take a look at it real quick. So she increases the crit chance of all allied elves by 30%, recovers 15% of turn meter upon landing a critical hit, and has a 50% chance to restore 1 turn to a random ability. So that's crazy right there. She has a 50% of the chance every turn to restore 1 turn to a random ability. So someone on your team a lot of the time is having abilities taken down by 1, and you don't even know it. And as long as she's under her leadership, she's able to do that. That's nuts. And if she does it to herself, watch out. Because if she does this move, her special AoE move, that deals 270% of physical damage to all enemies. If all enemies receive damage, that means if you land on all the enemies, it inflicts ability block on all of them. And if you're able to do certain things with her and maybe put a certain artifact on her where she has chances of resetting her abilities, let alone her leadership, she can take another turn and hit the AoE again. I think there's been a time where I've hit 3 times in a row. And my god, this move deals damage like no other to the whole entire team. Just hitting them 2 times in a row is crazy. If you get her going and you get her hitting her moves, the next team's done. Like, she's just the best. And maybe on paper it's kind of hard to understand, but my god, you guys, she's very squishy, but she can put out the damage. That's crazy. She's putting dages, ability blocks, freaking health, healing blocks, getting turn meter. She is nuts. Nuts. And she was just barely not meta until Buff got nerfed, and then she moved up into the meta leadership. This is the leader you want. You want her in your arena team. She is the best character in the game. But in my opinion, there's one more that's a little bit better. And at number 1, that character is Mordoch. This is my dude. I could go on for an hour about why this guy is so good. There's not really much of a weakness to the guy. He is not squishy. He's pretty tanky. He throws crazy amount of debuffs on you. He summons imps. He dispels on his basic. He is crazy. Another good thing about him is he's very achievable early on in the game. I suggest you go for orcs, get Soleus, and then after that you do your humans, and then once you get your humans pimped out, you take on more and you get more Doom. Boom. Before you know it, you can have him very early, and he's still, to this day, in my mind, one of the best. But I love him more than Delman. And that very reason is because he's so plug and play. You can put him on pandas, you can put him on orcs. I mean, technically he is an orc, but he does better with demons. He's like a demon in the disguise of an orc, you could say. It doesn't matter. You can put him on a crappy team, and he's still going to do the same thing he did with any other team. In my opinion, he is the most plug-and-play character there is in this game. Just real quick, like this slash move. It's inflicting armor decrease, tenacity decrease, slow, damage decrease, potency decrease, ability block. Ability block for 3 turns. That's a lot of debuffs for 3 turns. That's a lot. This move, he's putting out imps. These imps are the best like summons in the game, but they're freaking tanky. If you get someone like Wonder Lula or Kyra that does her invisibility move, these guys are always out there and they will act as tanks. They will never go under invisibility. And then this dispel, I use this move more than any other move with him, and it removes 2 buffs. And so I'm constantly using this to get around tanks like Kiri, sorry. And for every imp that he has in the party, he's getting tenacity, potency, and he gets even more of that with demons. So that's what I mean. He synergizes more with demons, but he has the orc tag, so he can still synergize with orcs and demons both. But that's about that with Mordoch. He is number 1 on my list, and in my opinion, the best character besides Delman. He is the best plug and play and the most fun to play with. I strongly suggest you get your humans as soon as you can if you're beginning. Get him, and you will notice the fun in the game increase by tenfold. He's an awesome character. Once again, can't say enough about him, and that is why he is number 1 on my list. Alright guys, that video went a little bit longer than I expected it to. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you disagree, if you agree, if you have something that I didn't say or that you want to include, let me know down below, guys. Love you all to death. Love talking to you. Love hearing about your opinions. But if you like the video or you like my other videos, please subscribe. Please comment below. Please like my videos. It really helps. It helps me. It helps the community. It just helps me get more videos out there so other people know that I'm here. With that being said, XMG family, love ya. Zara, love you, man. Hope everything's going good out there. I love the whole Dragon Champions community, and I hope everyone's doing well. And with that being said, make war, not peace, y'all. Peace.